Alright, so what's going on, guys? Vinland Saga Episode 4, A True Warrior. It's been a while since we've seen this series. I want to say 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, we got those first 3 episodes, and then they just kind of took a break, and it's like, what the heck? Best anime of the season, best anime of the year, we gotta wait? But anyway, this is a pretty exciting episode. So we left off where Thorfinn, and the guys from his village were setting sail. They were going to join up with the other Yam Vikings, but then they got trapped in a little sort of gorge or a narrow passageway, and Askeladd and his crew have them basically cornered off with archers on top of the mountains and multiple ships. But Thors is not having any of it. He's like, you know what? We're going to take care of this situation. It's going to be 1 against 100, and we're going to get it done. Kind of reminiscent of Guts in the forest when he fought off 100 other soldiers. And after that battle, very bloody and weary and exhausted. But Thors, on the other hand, he fights all these soldiers and he's freaking doing it nonchalantly like it's nothing, which I gotta say is a bit unrealistic. I wish they would have shown him displaying a little more effort, a little more exhaustion, because, I mean, no one's got the type of endurance that they were displaying throughout this episode. I mean, if they would have showed him at least a little tired, a little bit drained from the multiple battles that he was engaging in, that would have been a little more realistic, but it is what it is. It's still very exciting. Sometimes you can get away with unrealistic aspects of a story if it's engaging and exciting, so I would say because it was exciting enough and it did have enough exhilaration that it kind of compensated for the fact that Thors was made out to be this ultra super powerful man who no one could take down or challenge, except for Askeladd. Askeladd is the pirate mercenary who's in charge of this little ragtag of guys who are trapping Thor. And he decides he's going to do a one-on-one battle with Thor, which, again, if you got a numbers advantage and you got archers on cliffs, why would you nullify that advantage? Why would you make it even playing field? You know, the whole point of battle and war is to take advantage of your numbers, and it's not to show any mercy. So, I mean, this sort of one-on-one duel is showing Thor's a little bit of mercy, but I guess you could say, you know, he's showing him respect. But in terms of a story, in terms of a real-life scenario, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But, you know, we'll go with it. Again, it's exciting, so I would say it offsets that unrealistic facet of the story. So they're engaging in a one-on-one battle, and Askeladd uses a little trick where he cuts down the sail. It obstructs Thor's view, and right before the sail hits the ground, Askeladd sneaks right underneath it and slashes Thor right in the chest. Now, he doesn't do it deep enough to kill him. You know, he wanted to make this sneak attack a one and final blow. You know, he wanted to kill him right there and then because he understood the dangers of Thor. He already saw what he's been doing. He understands his power, his strength, his strategic abilities, his cunningness. So he's like, look, you know, I got one surprise attack in me. Let's get this done with. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. So now he's got to do a one-on-one battle legit. And Thors is just kind of using his brute strength and force to push him around. Askeladd is using every little bit of strength and sword ability to just prevent Thor from killing him. He's just barely holding him off. And then in the midst of the battle, he discovers, hey, he's not trying to kill me. He's not trying to hurt me. He's just trying to cut off the blade of my sword. So maybe since we got the same sword, I could do the same to him. You know, if I plan it, and I use the right leverage, I could cut his sword before he cuts mine, and then I'll have the advantage. So that's what Askeladd does. He cut the blade of Thor's sword, but then right as he's going in for the kill, he goes in for a long, wide swing, and Thor decides to Hulk Hogan punch him right in the arm, and he's like, fuck! Ah, damn it, he tricked me. And then Thor takes the sword, and he's like, hey, you gotta surrender to me, you lost the battle. Askeladd does not acquiesce to this request. He says, look, if I surrender here, my men are never going to respect me, so you gotta kill me. That's it. And that's a nice little bit of psychology on Askeladd's part. It's a shrewd little tactic by Askeladd. He could kind of tell that Thor was not going to kill him. You can see a person's intentions in their eyes, and he kind of looks at Thor and he's like, no, this guy's not the type of mercenary that's just he's out for bloodlust. He just wants to save his people, his son, and himself. He doesn't want to kill people. And of course, he kind of knows the backstory of how Thors is on his land, and he's abandoned, fighting as a mercenary. So he's like, hey, you know what? There's no reason for me to surrender. I can play a little cat and mouse game with him, and at the right opportunity, we'll seize the advantage, and then, we'll be in control of the situation, which they do. He basically says, hey, Thors, why don't you be our leader? And one of his crew fakes that he's pissed off, he jumps from the boat, and then grabs Thor's son, Thorfinn, and then he threatens to kill him. And then there you go, there's the bit of leverage that they need to come out of the situation victorious. Even though Thors can claim, well, I won the duel, Askeladd can say, well, I won the war. Because, I'm going to steal the ship, you guys are going to have to go home with your tails tucked between your legs, and I'm going to kill you, Thors, because you're too dangerous to be left alive. Either you're going to join an army at some point through an exploitation of another army, or, you're just too dangerous to live. So I'm going to kill you with my archers. I'm going to have the last laugh, even though you quote unquote got the victory, and that will be that. And then the episode ends with Thorfinn hiding in the pirate mercenary ship. Well, he's hiding in the ship that they took from Thor's, but now it's theirs. And he basically goes on a little rant on how he's going to kill them, and he's shown to be very enraged and vengeful, which I basically predicted in my first review. So I imagine at some point maybe he's going to escape from the pirate mercenaries, or they're going to drop him off at some sort of an island. And then he's just going to grow up, and he's going to hone in on his sword skills with anger and fury, and he's going to have this passionate wrath inside of him that's going to motivate him to probably be as strong as his father, and he's going to have this unending mission where he's probably going to chase Askeladd, and I would imagine he's probably going to join an army at some point, but he's always going to have that mission in his mind, and to get his retaliation against Askeladd. So all in all, it's still a very engaging story. Like I mentioned, there were some unrealistic parts, some tactics that I didn't like so much, but it's still very much exciting. The characters feel very much real, authentic. It's still a very solemn show, very serious, so I appreciate that. I mean, it's a little bit predictable, so I wouldn't say it's a great show yet. It's good. It's probably on the cusp of very good. But they've basically laid the seeds for a very good show here, and hopefully it blossoms into something very good, or maybe even great. So, it's a good start. I hope in the future we receive some portions of the story that astonish us. I hope they still maintain this solemn atmosphere, and I hope we get a little more investigation into Thorfinn as a character, because it seems like he's going to be the focal point of this series. So we really need to get a deeper look into who he is as a person. Like, I hope they just don't make him this one-note character where he's just enraged and spiteful all the time. Like, I hope you see some of his anguish, maybe even a little bit of depression, like the fact that his father is dead now and how it's destroying him on the inside. So we'll have to see. I would like to see him fleshed out into a multifaceted character that has different emotions and layers and personality traits and quirks. So that would definitely be nice, and that's something I'll be looking forward to in the future episodes. And yeah, that's really about it on this episode. Really not much else to say. It's still a good series up to this point. And, with I think it's like 25, 26 episodes, hopefully we get a nice little methodical story that really fleshes out the characters and slowly builds up the tension. So yeah, that's really all I got to say on this one. Until next time, hopefully we don't got to wait 3 weeks until the next episode. Till next time, catch you on the flip side.